What up, y'all? It's your boy Rodney Perry. We here. It's your boy. It's the men, the myth, the legends themselves. First of all, Talon is in the building. What's up, Talon? How you doing today, buddy?
Fantastic, brother. Over here shining like a diamond, man. Shining bright like a diamond.
Diamond. Word up. And the man, the myth, the legend, must be hair day. My man Fig is in the building. What's up, Fig?
Hey, who trying to get up in my crew?
It is hair day. It's hair day.
It's hair day. It's hair day. You know, this is my favorite day because this is when Fig he's loosest. Pause.
Pause. Yes, pause. Commercial. Pause. And we're going to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
I don't know if we have that, but all right. All right, hey man, let's get right into the show, man. Our guys will be joined by Mike Sean and the Business Bully shortly. Thank you to the Box Seats family that tunes in every day. Fig is looking okay. Fig rapper, okay. We got a young smiley face in the building. Pause. Looking good, King Talent. I'm sure that's one of Talent's concubine. Good afternoon, Box Seats family from Facebook, and we got more good energy out there. And here goes another one. Good afternoon, fellas. Hey, we are definitely fellas in the building. Stop the presses. Nobody move. Nobody gets hurt. The Business Bully has just joined us. Bully, how are you today?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
With a full, he came on the show with a full Rodney.
A full Rodney.
Because not now, but later on during the show, I'm gonna give people the business.
We got the brand new segment. The Bully gives somebody the business today, and it's gonna be great. Our fearless leader Frank Holder has got a light injury. He's not vaccinated, and so we'll talk about that a little later. I'll keep it moving. Already, Drusilla Brees is in the building. Hi, Drusilla. Lovely photograph. You look quite fantastic, if I say so myself. All right, let's get the show cracking. Sean Taylor from the Washington football team will have his number retired. They've only retired 3 other numbers, and guess who's not retired?
Who?
John Riggins. You know,
wow.
some like classic, Washington Redskins that aren't retired. So, but this is the scuttlebutt is that so this whole thing they got John Gruden fired started is an investigation with the Washington football team. Y'all know that, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So it was the Washington football team that they was investigating them and inadvertently ran up on Gruden's emails, right? So Gruden gone, he stepped out of football, and they are saying that maybe this Sean Taylor thing is smoke and mirrors to get us off the real trail of what's going on. So any thoughts on Sean Taylor, who was a great player? He got killed in his home, a robbery in his home, man. He got killed. His life was cut short. Any truth to you guys think to this as Sean Taylor is being posthumously his numbers being retired? What are your thoughts on that, Talent?
I think it's a beautiful thing. Like they should retire the number and everything. Again, like this is one of those official league mysteries. You know what I mean? You know what's funny? Now network is starting to make money off of these things. These people who have been killed mysteriously or have passed away who played professional sports, there's a whole bunch of series now popping up on my Hulu, on my Netflix. These are series now being sold. You know how you guys, we're entertainers and actors,
right?
And every now and then we shoot a pilot and we go shopping. These things are being picked up now.
Wow.
So from a man on the NBA who had the mysterious death out there in Memphis, all the way to this guy and to the Jim Brown pushing him over the balcony. These are now stories being retold and sold for network television.
Wow, that's crazy. Fig, man, do you think this has something to do with the whole investigation into the Washington football team that all of a sudden they wanna say something?
Man, I don't believe it, man. And let me tell you this, man. It's like smoking beers. It's like, don't look over here, look over there. Like we're doing this over there. Don't even worry about what's going over here because this is really important. We're gonna retire this stuff. This dude got killed, and we should really be paying attention to that. And here's the thing: that don't work with the feds. When the FBI is investigating you, they don't lose focus. And even if they do, they come right back to it. They don't lose focus. Wow. They got them emails. They're going through them emails right now.
Yep.
I guarantee you, line by line, they go through their emails, and there's going to be some names, and there's going to be some jobs, there's going to be some people. There might be some prison time.
Oh, that's a fact.
Wow. That's saying a whole lot. Bully, man, Fig makes an incredible point. They're retiring Sean Taylor's jersey, man. Yeah. Any thoughts on it seemed to have taken them too long to do this in my book.
Of course it did, Uncle Ronnie. Now you need something else to get the public court of opinion on your side, right? They understand that they can't outrun the feds, but if you get the public to love them, I call this the R. Kelly defense, right? If you get the public to love you so much that they don't pay attention to what you got going on over here, which is completely disgusting, then bam! They're already hit. Nobody cares. They're just going to continue to move. And the talent's point, not only are Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video all bidding for the next big Last Dance or controversial story. You got people like Ryan Murphy, who created Glee and American Horror Story, who's looking to dramatize everything from, OJ, the Monica Lewinsky situation. He's going to make his way into sports. You want to know why? It's much cheaper. You don't need to worry about spoilers. You don't need to do a lot of writing in the writer's room. You're just taking the time to put the story together and make it compelling and put it into a 6-part miniseries, and you walk off with tens of millions of dollars when it only costs you 1 or 2 to produce.
He got a great point. The cost, the overhead is so low. All you need is editing money and narration.
Are you available to do the narration talent?
Yep.
Is Biggie available to do it?
Look, he thought it was a quiet night in Brooklyn.
Yes, I think so. I think Biggie is right. I think we should get together and narrate all of these.
America,
man. Okay, moving on. Lamar Jackson. Get this, guys. Lamar Jackson shouted out a referee on his Twitter for calling a pass. What is it called?
Pass interference?
Roughing the passer.
Oh, okay.
Because historically, he hasn't gotten these calls. So my question to you guys is, are we going to see a change in terms of how they call these games? And we're going to see these athletic quarterbacks catching some of these calls? Because a lot of time, and they happen to be black, but a lot of the athletic quarterbacks, because they're bigger and stronger, don't get these roughing the passer calls. Fig, what's your thoughts?
Man, not only do they not get the calls, let me tell you how egregious it is. I think I was watching a football game in Carolina, and Cam Newton was the quarterback. I think somebody actually pulled the gun out on Cam Newton. And the referee didn't call nothing. I was like, yo, what?
Hold on, Fee. You watched the game, and what happened?
I think one of the defensive players pulled a gun on Cam Newton, and the referee didn't call nothing. I was like, this is an assault. I'm like, what are y'all doing? You know why? Because Cam was a freak of nature. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He really embodies that whole thing on the whole Superman thing that he was portraying at the time. And every time a defensive player hit him, that it needs to be a penalty, the referee swallowed a whistle.
Wow.
They're not refereeing the same way they do him and the Tom Brady's and the other cats that don't happen to be brown.
Wow. Hey, Bully.
Yes, sir.
Get this. Lamar Jackson has not got a roughing the passer call in 2 years.
Right.
2 years, man. Like, what does this make you think? What's your immediate thought?
I mean, again, I side with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he goes on record as saying that it is egregious, it is advantageous, it is heinous, and it's completely exacerbatory of what's happening out here in these streets. The other part of that is this, right? I keep telling y'all, and y'all don't want to believe it, in 10 years, mark my words, Boxy's family, mark my words, in 10 years, there will be a scandal talking about how these referees are in the pockets of doing what the NFL wants them to do. You think those earpieces? What does the head referee need an earpiece for? Somebody's making some calls someplace. You want to know why? You got to make the game exciting. You want to know why? You don't want it to be golf.
Wait a minute.
Oh, it'll never be golf.
How are you spelling exacerbatory? I need to look that up.
Hold on. Say all those things it is again.
It's egregious. It's advantageous. It's exacerbatory.
Nice.
Heinous. Don't leave out heinous.
No, you can never leave out the heinous.
Something else that we can't talk about.
And here I am. I just thought it was bad.
Bad? That's how you go with it? Wait a minute.
Bad. Yo, I want to play talent right now. $10,000 Scrabble. What's good?
You know what? I retired from Scrabble. I'll never play again. The late great comedian Cortez, who passed away. This is a man that got into comedy coming out of a 10-year bid in jail, right?
Yeah.
And he tricked me and took all my money in Scrabble. And when I told my brother, who was in jail, I went to visit my brother. He's like, "Dummy, you never play a jail dude in Scrabble. They just sit here and read the dictionary from the front to the back." And this man baited me. He did that. He did the thing you see in the movies where he lost the first game. Then I put all my money up, and he took all my money, and I never played that game again. I swear.
He was beating down with triple word scores.
And Scrabble is not about necessarily the length of word or how great the orator you are. It's about points, and it's about scoring points. If you can figure that out, you can be a great Scrabble player. Lamar Jackson talent. Lamar Jackson, he hasn't got a roughing the passer call in 2 years, man.
Wow.
What are you thinking about this, man? Are we going to see some these guys being protected a little more? People like Lamar Jackson,
No, absolutely not. It's 100% racist.
Wow.
Here's what happens. It reminds me of, when you look at slavery, how do you get the slave to act the way you want him to act? Is you have to apply certain things, certain pressures, i.e. the whip, all these gadgets they made to break them, to make them bend over. There's a whole bunch of stuff if you know your history. It's the same thing going on in football.
Wow.
Since the beginning of the black quarterback, since the Warren Moons and the Cunninghams, they've been scolding these quarterbacks from day one to stop that black running shit.
What is it?
Black running shit. Like when I give you this position, this is supposed to be, anytime they give us something, it's supposed to be thankful you got it. When I make you the quarterback, here's how the quarterback plays. Now, us being originators and people who invent new things, the black quarterback says, well, I can do that, but in case something happens, like the pocket folds up on me, I can do this too. I can run this way, run that way, jump over this guy. Come on, we've seen Randall do some crazy stuff, jumping over people and getting touchdowns and winning games. However, if that's not the playbook they gave you, if that's not the role they gave you, only other way I can teach your ass to sit in the pocket is I'm not going to give you these calls because I told your ass don't do that in the first place. So if you go 2 years, hey, I'm not getting the rough the pass. They hoping that you get it slowly but surely. Go, you know what? Let me stay my black ass in the pocket. Master did tell me stay my ass in the pocket, and I ran out the pocket. My bad, my fault, which is not the case. The call is there to be called if it happens.
Right.
These guys are super talented. That's the whole point of being a football player, to put all my things on display. Now, you're trying to contain that. So again, when the slave gets out of pocket, no pun intended, when the slave does not do what he's supposed to do, there's other ways I could show you to conform to my plan. And that would be not giving this man a call, let him see that he's going to get hurt, to scare his ass, to play my football and stay in the pocket. That's what I think about it.
Wow.
I mean,
you said
more than fair. More than fair. Hey, shouts out to the folks watching via the Facebook and the other platforms. Shouts out to Amir Seeley. I see you, Dave Anderson is in the chat as well. Yeah. What's up, Dave? Renee is in the chat. Marlene is in the chat. I can't see all of your names. You can type your name in there. I'll shout you out as well. Thank you guys for tuning in and commenting, man. We really appreciate that. The name of the show is Box Seats. My name is Rodney Perry. I got the con today. Talent is in the building. The business bullies in the building. In the next quarter hour, we'll be finding out who the bully wants to give the business, and also my man Talent has all his finger on the pulse of womanhood.
That's right. That's right.
We're diversified.
I'm all about the ladies. Speaking of that, breaking news, in case you haven't heard, the WNBA, man, they had a fan vote that come in for the greatest WNBA player of all time.
Oh, wow.
And they gave it to Diana Taurasi.
What?
How?
Diana Taurasi was voted, and it's a fan vote, Vic.
Right,
the fans voted 39-year-old Diana Taurasi the greatest player of all time. And this vote was did out of this is the 25th anniversary of the WNBA.
Right.
So they had to, now I feel like you guys.
Now, do you agree with that, Talent? Do you agree with her that choice?
I do not.
Ooh.
There's so many names over these 25 years, bro.
Exactly.
You passed over Sue Bird. You passed over Lisa Leslie, Tamika Catchings, Tina Thompson,
Talent.
Cynthia.
They ain't none of them better than her though. She gold.
Cynthia?
Dude, are
you bugging?
Cynthia?
Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoop.
When you look at Cynthia was for many years considered the Michael Jordan of this league. With the championships, with the accolades, with the sports, with the stats. Don't get me wrong. I think that, and one of the things I think they're looking at, her being 39 years old. She just hit the history books.
And still cold.
Yeah, the oldest player to drop 30-plus points in a game. She dropped 37 the other night.
Right.
And I think they're looking at that. They're looking at the tenure. Her numbers don't lie. Don't get me wrong. She's one of the greatest. But me personally, I don't know if I would go with that.
Yeah,
pick one, Talent. Who you like? If not her, who? I
could see. I would go with Cynthia for I think she got 3 chips. She led the league in scoring many years and stuff like that when Houston was rocking. I'm gonna go with her, man.
Sharana says I'm bugging, guys. Sharana says, Rodney, you bugging, son.
Yo,
Fig, am I bugging? I agree with this pick.
She got a hell of a beak on her. I can tell you that, boy. She got a beak.
That's what we doing?
Yo. Every time I see her, I want a bowl of Fruit Loops.
Yo.
Did you just say follow my nose?
Hey, didn't what you call it just get in trouble for this?
Oh God.
Brutal. Okay. Talking about the man.
Yo, follow your nose. It always knows.
Oh God. He said you got a hell of a beak.
Wherever it goes.
Big stop right there.
All right.
Bully Taurasi is the best pick. Her body of work is the truth. She is the current leader, and she's 50 years old.
Yeah, she's a hell of a player, man. But to call her the best of the best over the last 25 years, man, it might be a little reach. I mean, maybe she's top 5, but number 1. I mean, look.
So it's not like basketball. We got a clear go.
Man, it's kind of difficult, man. You know what? I would have to disqualify myself because I'm not educated enough on the history of the WNBA to be able to speak intelligently about it. But I know that Cheryl Swoops was a beast. Taurasi is really nice. Lisa Leslie started off. Starley. There's a lot of young ladies that did the damn thing in the WNBA, man. But I would have to go back and really do my research, look at all the records and stuff like that, and what these young ladies was able to do. But let me tell you something: women's basketball is really
I love it.
It's come up leaps and bounds, man. These young ladies got game.
Anybody that don't know that what you just said, go to one game live. I challenge anybody, go see one live WNBA game.
Somebody said Candace Parker.
Phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yes.
Not mine.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind getting one of these young ladies just to turn my gene pool around. I mean, I'm 5'7". You know what?
Ronnie,
Disregard it. Nobody respond to that. Talent. What else we got out of WNBA?
My main man here in New York, the owner of the New York Liberty. Now, a lot of people don't realize the Liberty is no longer, in the Garden, part of the Garden. They're playing their games at Barclays. The billionaire owner, who's part of the big giant Chinese tech company Alibaba, Mr. Joe Tsai, he is on his campaign. He's putting his money where his mouth is in the WNBA. He's not only just the owner of the New York Liberty now, but what he's pushing for is better travel accommodations for these girls, these ladies. Here's the thing. In all the other leagues, they travel game to game on chartered planes.
Yep.
Yeah.
WNBA is still getting on commercial flights. You might be sitting next to a champion on Spirit.
Wow.
Not on Spirit.
Yeah, you might be on Spirit, and the leading scorer of the league is in the middle seat. It's bad.
Wow.
So he's championing this cause to get them better conditionings. He's teaming up. He's putting his money up along with. He got a couple of airlines he's working with to see who will take on this cause here for the WNBA. So now that they can go all their away games, every time they got to go from point A to point B, they at least have the privacy of their own plane. Because a lot of these young ladies, they're young, they're coming out of school, they have babies, some of them. Some of them are moms and they travel with the kids and stuff like that, the homeschooling because of the pandemic and everything. So this is a great cause. And shout out to Big Joe over there for doing that and putting his money in, making his money a part of this so that the WNBA travel accommodations can be better.
Oh, that's
wow,
dope.
well said. I love that. I think that's really dope, Talent, man. Like, I mean, you don't think about what the WNBA has to go through. First of all, they make way less money. Yep. They're not playing as long, and they're not even getting the same endorsement deals. So to get them to see some semblance of equality is kind of dope to me. What's your thoughts, Vic?
Yeah, man, I think it's time. I didn't even know that they had to fly commercial. I know when the NBA first started, they had to fly commercial, man. And I could imagine what it is having to just sit next to, to other passengers on vacation or on business or whatever and stuff like that. Commercial, chartered flights, private planes is definitely the way to go for any WNBA team, man. I didn't even know that. It's high time. That's ridiculous because, like Talent said, they have a lot of things. These are young women. They have personal things and they probably need to be amongst themselves when they're traveling. Like it's like I was talking about yesterday. Brittany Griner during the interview, she had her child with her. I believe it was her child. I'm just making an assumption. She had a child with her doing the interview and stuff like that. So these young ladies, child care is another issue. And they need to have their children with them and going and stuff like that. It's got to be tougher. You know what I mean? For these WNBA
Bro, they
players
posted a picture of one of the young ladies. Baby can be more than 5-6 months old. And she's the middle seat and sleep with the baby and leaning on, another person on the plane. Wow. Just a packed plane. That's why I make the joke about Spirit, but you just don't know because
that's ridiculous, especially in the time that we're in now, in the era of COVID, you know what I mean? Having to travel with the general public, I don't even think it's safe. And the WNBA should do something.
That's a great point right there.
Yeah. They should do something about that. That's not good.
Bully, do you think that these changes are going to be sweeping changes for the WNBA?
Here's the problem with the WNBA. Number one,
I know how you feel about it. First of all,
no, I know you do. Number one, they're cheap as a flock of birds, right? See, when you have a private situation, when you have a private airline, you contractually partner with a private airline, and you're owning a team and you're using it to fly your employees to where they need to go, it's an automatic tax write-off. The reason that so many people are broke in this country is because they work for other people. When you own things, everything damn near becomes a write-off. That is the beauty of being a job creator in America. So the WNBA could actually cut down their losses by actually chartering planes. You cut down on sickness, you would cut down on healthcare expenses, and also they need to have some type of round-the-clock child care support for these women who are out here sacrificing their lives. For them not to do that just shows how ridiculously niggardly they're being with their money.
Niggardly?
Niggardly, niggardly. It means to be cheap. Ridiculous.
Yes,
So.
and
That is a
that
fact.
comes from the era of nigger dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
A talent of great segment, man. I think it's important that we definitely cover the playoffs. Are really exciting, man. I watched the game last night, and Chicago is looking good. Phoenix is looking even better,
Ooh.
and I think that was really
Well,
dope of us
first
to
of all,
cover.
Rodney, they both looking good because it's tied 1-1. First game, one took it. Next game, the other team took it. Game 3 comes up Friday, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. Support these ladies, man. We talk the talk. Let's walk the walk. We support our queens. We got this.
Yeah, and I actually catch as many games as I can here in Atlanta, and I had one of the ladies hit on me, and they aggressive like dudes.
You should have
Really?
took a picture.
Yeah, but she
you
wasn't
couldn't get 'em in
tall
the
though. She
frame.
was just a regular heighted.
No,
So I
it's
said
the
no.
point. They get it's the point. It's the principle. They get the rep that they don't like dudes. So one of them pushed up on you. I would have been like, hold on, babe, hold on, one sec. Ain't nobody gonna believe this.
I think my wife would have had some issues with that. Hey,
maybe.
let's keep the show moving.
It's just a
Well
picture.
done.
It's just a picture.
Hey, it ain't never just a picture, Fig. Trust me. Let's get. Oh, Tua is back in at practicing. Tua out of Miami is back practicing. He should play this week. What better team to come back to work on than the Jaguars? Miami versus the Jaguars. Who do y'all like?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. In a normal sense, automatically it's a no-brainer. You go with Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But this is overseas, and stranger things have happened over there. Every time I think it's going one way, when they go play in London and all that, weird stuff happens, bro. So I think it's anybody's game. For the win, I'll still go with Miami. For the points, I'm going Jaguars.
Okay. So you take Jaguars with the points.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not a bad call. Bully, man, Tua is back in uniform. He cracked them ribs earlier in the season. He's back. Does that give you a taste for ribs?
Usually, I mean, just the mention of the word, man, gives me a taste for ribs. I see a skinny white woman on the beach, I start thinking ribs automatically because they're right there in front of my face. I honestly do agree with Talon because people don't realize that the altitude's a little bit different across the pond. On top of that 5-hour time warp is going to mess your head up. And I don't know how much time they've had to recover. And then you start talking about the fact that there is absolutely no soul food seasoning in the UK. None. They don't have hot sauce. Salt and pepper are rarities there. Did you know, historically speaking of, Europe as a whole, the term salary comes from the fact that Roman soldiers used to be paid with salt. And so that's where the whole throwing the salt over your shoulder comes from, because if you knocked off your salt, you was losing money. So I think the fact that people are going to walk away not feeling salty at all is going to factor into the way that they move, condition, and they eat. So
I got a new
I'm going with
segment for
Jacksonville.
Bully. The fact of the day.
I don't even be trying, bro. Like,
he has a new segment. The fact of the day. Salt over your shoulder. Who knew? Fig, man. Tua is back, man. He had all of that controversy with Deshaun Watson maybe coming there and taking his spot. What's your thoughts on Tua returning and him dealing with all that stuff that was swirling around earlier in the season?
Man, the thing that you learn on the boxies. Anyway, I'm like,
who knew?
Go with look, I like Miami because Tua is coming back, and I think when people go to Europe, some of these players have significant others that if they're going over to Europe, they're going over to London. I would imagine that some of their significant others would want to take this particular trip with them. You know what I mean? Go over there, maybe get a little shopping, done, and stuff like that. Take the kids. Players lose focus, but the one person that will probably be focused is Tua, because he's just coming back off an injury, and he's probably the one who would probably be more focused on the game than any other player. So I like Miami in this, man, for that particular reason. And
wow.
throw a little salt over my shoulder, man. That's
Hey, man, ain't nothing like it.
Off your back.
Hey, the name of the show is Box Seats. My name is Rodney Perry. That's talent. That's Fig, and that is the business bully. We've been talking about this Overtime Elite. Have you guys seen this? Overtime Elite is about to play. All right, they're ready. They have the team set, and they have who they're going to be playing set. My question to you guys is: do you want to watch some 16 to 20-year-olds play basketball? I mean, we got the WNBA, we got the NBA, we got college basketball. Do we give a damn about the Overtime Elite League? Fig.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you why. Because these guys are the ones who are vying for their spot. And they're playing harder and tougher than anybody else that you'll probably see. And we got to remember, some of the greatest athletes that ever made it to the NBA started out as teenagers. We're talking about your Kobe Bryant.
I think they all did.
Your LeBron. You say what?
I think they all started out teenagers.
No. I'm talking about starting out in the NBA as teenagers.
Yes, sir. Very true.
So you got your Kobe Bryant, your Kevin Garnett, of course your LeBron James. So you never know what we're going to get. We might find a diamond in the rough, because a lot of people, we don't see these players until they get to college or maybe until they make it into the NBA. Like, we don't see what other people see, what the scouts and stuff see, to be able to draft these guys. So maybe we'll be able to get an opportunity to get a bird's eye view and catch one of these up and coming stars before they actually make it to the final dance. Yeah, I'm interested, man.
And in the meantime, they get to make some money. Amir makes a great point. The McDonald's All-American game is what used to showcase that.
Yeah.
Now, talent. Is this the undoing of games like that?
I don't think so. I think it's America, bro. And one thing about being institutionalized is that you're still always going to have that constituency. It's like when streaming came about, people thought cable was going to disappear. You still got a big criteria and constituency of people who need their cable. They need that old-fashioned wire coming into the house. They don't trust. You can't talk an old person into streaming. What's that? Streaming. I just had the plumbing fixed. Ain't nothing to do with water. So the same thing here. You got people, even though this league exists, we're all looking at it from one angle. We're looking at it from that struggling black family that need to get that money. No. You still got a lot of cats that are going to stick to that formula that's always been there for 200 years. I'm going to school here. I'm committing to this school here. I'm going to put in my time, get my degree, put my numbers up. If I'm great, I'll leave school early to get to the league. Or if not, I'll do my 4 years and get to the league. You have both people. Both can coexist.
Love it. Bully, you see it, the Overtime League, these young men are getting the ability to play. They're young, though. They're 16 to 20 years old. They're going to be playing each other, too, like people that in their comparable in their age range. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I think a lot of people don't realize how critical, and how hard these kids are playing. And I agree with Tom. It's not just about I'm gonna buy my mom a house. Like, my brother used to play basketball in high school, and he was in the Sunny Hill Basketball League. And you know what I'm saying? Like, my brother dunked on Rasheed Wallace twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a situation where we have these athletes that we don't get a chance to see, and it's pure. They're there because they're hungry and they actually love the sport. On top of that, you should pay them. You want to know why? Everybody around them is getting paid. I remember when the basketball team won the championship, then we got Domino's in the lunchroom. We got Frito-Lay in the snack machine. We got all the Pepsi. Why am I just naming the food? It's because I'm fat. The point of it is, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, Reebok had the brand new scoreboard out in the, in the gym and in the football field. Like, everybody's getting a check, but the people who are actually running the situation. And I don't know about you, Minister Figure-Khan, but does not sound like slavery?
It does, man. And there's a scripture, I'm going to paraphrase, that you're not supposed to muzzle the ox mouth that plows the field for you. So if these guys are generating income, they should get a piece.
That's it. I'm here for it. I root for it. I co-sign it. And it gives a lot of players who will never make it, which is about 93% of high school basketball players. They're never going to make it to the league. So yeah, let them get a bag right now, and hopefully somebody's teaching them how to invest it on the back end.
That's right. And instead of stories that they can tell later on how they used to play, they'll actually have some video on it.
Why ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, hey, well said, gentlemen. Let me grab this video for you guys. I first of all, let's
why
get
we all get
it.
excited though? Wait, why we all get excited? Like, oh shoot, Rodney's here. We got
too,
video?
right? We got
like, oh,
we got video. I'm up for this.
I want to see this movie.
As long as it ain't a video of me.
Oh, let me get this popcorn and everything.
Right, let's get my fat-free water. That's not pop. That's not popcorn.
Fat-free water.
Oh yeah. It's just Tito's. Sorry.
Hold on, let me. God damn, what am I thinking? Okay.
Why he gets that together?
Right.
Why he gets that together?
Yeah, show him that talent walk.
What is that? Oh, that's hot. Wait a minute. That's dope as hell. All right. Kyrie Irving, man. Kyrie Irving. Stephen A. Smith went off on Kyrie yesterday. Kyrie, you can't say you're not hearing this stuff. And right. Kyrie did a video, which I'm trying to pull up a portion of it so we can take a look at it, and then we'll reserve our comments to after that. Let me go. Give me 2 seconds. Matter of fact, let's do this while we wait. I don't know if I can do it. No,
you can do it. Right.
I don't have that. All right. Hey, talk among yourselves. Let me get it.
Yo, man,
let me say this.
Go ahead, T.
About the Kyrie thing. And it's despicable to me that the man has been trying to not add fuel to this fire, this anticipated fire that people seem to ignite themselves. I'm shame on Americans because we do this with everything. When people don't talk, we speculate and create our own storyline. Mm-hmm. And we drill it home until we believe it.
Yep.
To the point where we force these people to come out and speak at a podium or some sort of, some sort of medium where they get their point across, when you really don't owe that explanation to anybody.
Right.
The reasons of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Stop running away from using my voice and using my platform to speak on what's true and what's mine. Nobody's gonna hijack my voice. Nobody's gonna take the power away from me that I have for speaking on these things. And don't believe that I'm retiring. Don't believe that I'm gonna give up this game for a vaccine mandate or staying unvaccinated. Don't believe any of that shit, man. Like really be aware of what's being said before I even get a chance to be on the podium and speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these people saying all these things about what's going on with me, and it's just not true. Pay attention to what's going on out in the real world. People are losing their jobs to these mandates. People are having to make choices with their own lives, which I respect. And I don't want to sit here and play on people's emotions either. Just use logic. What would you do? If you felt uncomfortable going into the season when you were promised that you would have exemptions or that you didn't have to be forced to get the vaccine. This wasn't an issue before the season started. This wasn't something that I foresaw coming, where I prepared for it. And, I had a chance to strategize on what was going to be.
Yo, that's crazy to me. And I didn't look at it that way. And I was looking on Twitter. Sean King posted like that in New York, so the mandate is only in California and New York, for the record. Right. So right. And I talked to my cousin who is a medical professional, and she was like, Rodney, the mandates are coming down all over the country, but it's just not all there yet. But my problem is this: if everybody in the country that mandated, how can you go with this guy? So Sean King posted on his Twitter, and I'll pose a question to you guys after this. He was like, there are 40% of the New York cops that haven't been vaccinated. So how do we force a basketball player to be vaccinated if you're not forcing the NYPD? Man, you guys are New Yorkers. Fig, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, first off, cops are not mandated to be in buildings where there are thousands of people at one time.
That's fair.
I understand that on the police department. Now, on the other hand, I really do support Kyrie and his decision not to be vaccinated. It's his body. It's his choice. You do what you want to do, Kyrie. I support that 100%. Here's the flip side to it. You work for somebody. You're an employee. You're on the plantation. They own the NBA. They own the Nets organization. You're a worker. And you're trying to tell us that you shouldn't be excoriated because of the way that Massa is treating you on the plantation. Leave the damn plantation. Get together with a bunch of other players like Ice Cube did and start your own damn league. This way, you don't have to listen to what Master say. And then when we say, yo, let's escape from here, you got a bunch of other people saying, oh, why does you want to do that? This NBA treats us nice, balls. We should just be staying here and do whatever Master tell us to do. No, Kyrie, do what you want, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say I want to do my own thing and then be upset by the way they treat you on the plantation. Either go and do what they say or leave. You can't have it both ways. That's their corporation. It's their business. They're trying to make money. And the fact that you're going in there without having a vaccine is affecting their bottom line. So if you don't like it, don't take it. I support you, but you can't complain about the way you're being treated on the plantation and you don't want to leave.
Well,
wow. Fig makes an incredible point. Talent. They told him certain things, and now they're going back on it. Is that fair?
No, it's not. And that's the part that the only thing I would disagree with Fig saying is that part. That's the part where he believes he should have it both ways, because once you tell somebody something, once you say, okay, this is what you're going to get paid, and you know this, Fig, at the end of the night, I can't change what I told her I was giving you. I have to give you what that's the arrangement. So he's sitting back and holding that close to the vest in his chest of saying, hey, you told me I wouldn't have to. Now you're saying I have to. Now let me give one correction. Go back to what Rodney said about New York and California. That's the state mandate.
Right.
Problem is, there's more mandates than just the state. A lot of these arenas have that rule that you have to be vaccinated to come into the arena. So it's not the state per se, but it's still arenas. So if you factor in, if he stays on Brooklyn, 41 games, he's already half the season's gone because you can't play at home, right? Then you go on the road, it's at least another 20 you lose with these arenas. So out of 80 games, they take 60 away from you damn near. So it's a null and void season. And I was telling my partner Quincy this morning, I was like, and what even gets worse is, let's say even with missing 50, 60 games, my team still gets to the playoffs. What does that do for me if I have home court advantage? Or if I end up playing a team that has the mandate in their arena and your best player don't get to play? So right. I understand totally where he's standing. And in this double-edged sword of a deal, he has more than enough valid points of why he stands there and what the whole holdout is. But to his defense, he also said, all that stuff y'all talking about, I never said it. I believe the man, what happens is, go back to my earlier point, we as a people sometimes do a disservice to our own people. I think the only reason he spoke up at this point is because one of his fellow black men and sisters on the airwaves joined the choruses of condemning him. If Stephen A. doesn't go off like he does and Jamil Hill and them say the things they say regarding him without even speaking to him and knowing him, you force this man to come out as a fellow black man and give some sort of rebuttal and explanation of what's going on when he was already trying to be quiet and not add fuel to the fire.
Stephen A. Just to say, Stephen A. is a company man, and he would be the dude who's in charge of the slaves on the plantation, and he's siding with Massa. That's who Stephen A. has always been. He came out against Kaepernick the same way.
I mean, but Fig, you making the same point Stephen A. made.
What? No, I'm saying Stephen A. is no. I'm not. No. I'm
you
saying
making the exact same point, Fig.
But I'm just saying
you're not a house. You can't call a man a house Negro if you're not going. If you have the same position as he does.
I don't have the same position as Stephen A. does. I'm saying get your own, do your own thing. I'm saying us as a people, we can't complain about what's happening on the plantation and beg to stay there.
But ain't that absurd though? Like you saying, leave the NBA and start another league today?
Yes, it's been done before. We had the ABA. We had our own. Listen, the one thing that we did as black people before, we did very well when we were on our own. We did extremely well. We had Black Wall Street. We had Rosewood. Dave, tell us, please explain it better than me.
Dave, don't tell us. Great point. Hold on, Dave. Can we give a collective hold it to everybody involved in this situation? Because and Dave, I want you to speak to this because the deadline is still not here. I mean, we're still like, at least 2 weeks away from the season starting. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy, all of this stuff could change in a matter of days.
It will.
And so, do you foresee Kyrie coming on board with his vaccine, Bully?
Absolutely not. I think Kyrie is going to stand his ground, and I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a whole lot of Yowza Boston Stevens from Django on the wrong side of history. I'll save everything else for the.
What do you mean? Are you okay? Okay, we can save it. Yowza bosses.
Oh, that man right there, Jim.
Man, and you know what, guys, and I think we come upon this. I mean, we're all black men on this show, and we come upon this a lot. The way we talk sports, because there is a parallel from what our people went through in slavery. And it's hard to equate it to slavery because they make so much money, but they're still largely white heads, especially in the NFL and even in the NBA. And I think we can always draw these parallels, man. The chat is dope. I want to cover some of this. Sharonda says it's such a personal decision, and the fact that he has to make a video like this is disgusting to me. He feels what he feels and stands on it. I think she's yelling right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
I think she was yelling.
Yep. Sharonda's drinking.
She is definitely she gets her drink on because a cap. Okay, speaking to the cop issue, because the cop makes 40,000 and not 40 million, leave the bread. I mean, but that's semantics, though. I mean, a job is a job.
No. Kyrie is in an exclusive position to make a decision that people who make $40,000 a year cannot make. If you make $40,000 a year, you don't have the luxury of being able to leave your job or be able to do your own thing. 40,000. The vast majority of America don't make enough money.
But hear me out, though, Fig. Hear me out, because we got to look at it from this perspective, though. You got it's 40% of the police force that aren't vaccinated. And they're not forcing them. They still doing on the job.
Right.
But
listen what he's saying. What Fig's point is, when we throw numbers up, it's a different thing for that person that's still living check to check. Right. For that person who has that luxury of. Kyrie was very nice and smart with his money. He's not one of those players that needs to sign that next deal and blah, blah. He done had a couple of max. He's doing very well. And he's watched his money. And if he gets pushed into that corner of retirement, you heard him in his own video. He don't want to. That's not the point. He didn't say that, so that's all speculation out there. But if he is forced into that corner, he will be okay financially. So this is now
it's not the same as the regular guy.
That you can't, like Vic said, that guy that got to literally stop at the grocery store on the way home to put food on that table and is living check to check. All of that money.
But isn't that Talon and Fig and Bully? Isn't that who Kyrie is saying he's standing up for? I mean,
not me.
You can't speak with Kyrie is in an exclusive position in America that he has enough money where he can make these kind of decisions. But the guy who has a family, the guy who has children, the guy who has a mortgage and a car note and bills and cable and gas and electric, you can't make that kind of decision.
That part.
You can't.
That part's real. Now, see, I'm exempt because I don't have to go to the grocery store. I go to Petco. I put dog food on the table.
You know what?
I don't want none of your dog food talent.
One of our great audience members, bro. Y'all making this a real conversation, and I think this is the reality. This is not an easy conversation, and people will paint it like Kyrie is like he's not smart or he's an idiot because he's taking this position. And I don't completely agree with that, bro. Although I am vaccinated.
Hold on,
bro.
It's not this why people think that Kyrie is an idiot. It's the one way tell about the earth is flat and all that. That's why they think Kyrie is.
Well, he's not the only one that believes that, though, Fig.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that.
A lot of people believe
but you don't want to take it. You know, the vast majority of Americans, we don't want to take advice from somebody who makes those kind of statements. That's kind of weird.
I mean. All right. Let's read this one, bro. Y'all making this a real hard convo. It's public safety. Y'all saying that a cat who believes that the earth is flat is who we hitch our wagon to. Making that same point you were just making, Fit. I'm not saying hitch your wagon to the man. I'm saying he has a right to do what he sees fit for him and his family.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I applaud that. I applaud Kyrie's decision. But here's the thing. I don't quit my job and then say they treated me so bad and I want to go back. If they treated you bad and you're in a position to leave, why are you anxious to go back? Leave.
Nice point. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of the show is Box Seats. I'm Rodney Perry. That's Fig. That's Talent. And that man is the business bully. Bully,
yes,
who you giving the business?
Well, it's so funny that we were just talking about this individual because I think it's time to give the business to Kyrie Irving, teammates, fans, employees. And here's why. This is the most ridiculous thing since my good friend, the late James Hanna, told me that somebody was nuttier than hooker spit. This is absolute insanity to me. As a business owner and as a sports fan, I am utterly disgusted with the display of nonsensical theatrics that is happening around Kyrie Irving. And let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all for years believed that there was a fat man who was well over 400 pounds that could slide down your chimney and give you presents and never once thought that maybe your single mom was working that extra job so that you can get that Nintendo. But all of a sudden, Kyrie Irving is ridiculous. The talent just walked out, but that's all right. I'm just going ahead and, I'm going to continue on what I got to say. You do realize that the NBA is in a position to make deals. Matter of fact, the NBA makes about 3,700 deals per day in different job negotiations, different sponsorships, different arena type situation, different vendors. So it's very possible for them to come to terms with different arena owners and say, look, we will give you the most stringent testing, just like they did with the Olympics, just like they do with several other sporting events, where if in fact Kyrie Irving or any player of his ilk turns up with COVID, right, he will be held to what's called a liability waiver, and then they will extract damages based upon the amount of money they have to pay somebody who was caught COVID as a result of Kyrie Irving not being vaccinated, even though the CDC now says that natural immunity is a lot better than these vaccines. And then this morning they're saying, well, if you got Johnson & Johnson, now you can get the Moderna and the Pfizer, when just yesterday they were saying you should never mix medicines. Do you see the crazy things that are happening that are pervasive around this entire argument? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Not to mention, there is something called occupational sovereignty, which means that you have a right to live your life as you see fit, as long as the job is not infringing upon your ability to live outside of the job. If I'm putting a jab in my arm for a job and that jab could possibly affect me outside of the scope of my employment, I no longer have occupational sovereignty. Therefore, you're turning me into a product. You're turning me into a slave. So I'm trying to understand that. On top of that, we got to stop with this, black people are dying from COVID, because yes, there are black people who are dying, but they're dying from COVID-related illnesses. In other words, if you have a heart attack, if you're morbidly obese, if you have pneumonia, they're saying it's COVID. Why? Because the hospitals are making money from it. Please do an ounce of research, and I'm not talking on your timeline, but here's my thing. We're always talking about how black people need to stick together. We're always talking about what happens. If 77% of the league is black people, why is it that nobody is standing up with Kyrie and saying, listen, until Kyrie Irving plays, none of us play? By the way, what happened to the players union? Where are they in this? Nobody is backing this man, but to keep talking about how important this man is. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, you fair weather fans, you are about as reasonable as a two-headed dragon chasing a dog's ass. You know what that means? Absolutely nothing. It doesn't make any sense. And neither do your arguments. How do you love one person when they do exactly what you want them to do, but when they don't, because they have a reason bigger than your entertainment, all of a sudden they a problem. Oh, they stupid, they flat earthers, but you had no problem with the stupid flat earther when he was scoring 20 points a game. That's why all of your collective ridiculous asses get the business.
Wow, the business tirade.
I'm here for all the smoke. I listen. I've been talking about us doing our own thing, and you know where it goes back to? It even goes back to comedy. That's why I never tried to beat down the doors to get into some of these white establishments, because I never wanted to have to work and do some of the things that they wanted us to be able to do in order to assimilate. So since I was a new jack, since I was very new, I always did my own thing. I always had my own rooms. And remember one time in the very beginning, I was the king of the $50 rooms. That means if you needed $50, you can call me up, and I had about 3 or 4 or 5 different rooms that you can come to on any day of the week to get your money. I always have been the same way. I'm for the black man, working with the black man, for the black man, empowering the black man, making our own communities. And the NFL, the NBA, all these major sports organizations are white owned. And I'm saying it's high time that we make our own leagues and do our own thing. Listen, the Negro leagues today would make billions of dollars. If we had Negro leagues, we'd make billions of dollars. And I'm all for it.
We're not. Hold on, everybody, freeze. We're not going to debate that point. We got to get ready to wrap the show, guys. Yeah. Y'all see the clock? Look, great show today. Talent, is that
Cut it out, Talent.
Is that
Oh, y'all don't hear the song. I cut it off. Go OJ. Go. Anyway, so
great commentary. Great. Thank you for sharing, Fig. I wanted to ask y'all this question, but I think we're out of show. So let's get ready to close it down, man. Talent, how do people stay in touch with you, be friend?
Hey, hit me up at KyrieNotVaccinated.com today. I stand with Kyrie. When he get the shot, I'm gonna get the shot.
I love it. Bully, your thoughts. Your where are you? Where how can we, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm here just trying to help black people make businesses happen. Shout out to my man, Howard Whaley. We have just acquired the ABA, and we're taking ownership of it in January. So I don't hear nothing else about black-owned leagues because, well, now you got a home. Anyway, I want to give a big shout out to the WNBA. Just picked up Fruit Loops as a sponsor. So shout out to that. And by the way, follow me at The Business Bully.
Comedian Fig, the man, the myth, the legend. He paved his own way, and he will continue to do it. Fig, how do people find you, be a part of your life?
Hey, man, you can follow me at all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. And my motto is, by any means necessary, we can make this happen for ourselves.
Go ahead, Fig. Go ahead, brother.
Well said. My name is Rodney Perry. All social media, Rodney Perry Live. Shouts out to our fearless leader, Frank Holder. You were indeed missed today. And also Mike Sean, man, appreciate you as always. The name of the show is Box Seats. And I think, that might be it.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure. Check it out. My ending credits. Bow.